This is big breaking emergency news. The National Guard has been deployed to multiple different states, and we also have multiple different buildings and areas of the city being taken over and taken hostage. A major US city is under threat right now, and the police, the state police, the National Guard, they are all being deployed to deal with the situation. So let's get into the details here really quick, guys. Please just hit that like and hit that subscribe. I'm posting every single day, keeping you guys updated on this big urgent news, and it just helps to get these warnings out. I appreciate that. So we now have the National Guard being deployed to multiple different states right now. Texas and California are seeing, and Michigan as well too, are seeing the National Guard deployed there to deal with this situation. All right, we are having gangs, criminal organizations take over multiple different apartment complexes and buildings inside of major US cities and Texas right now. All right, this happened last month in a Texas city. El Paso was dealing with this. Now we have another Texas city that has been taken hostage, multiple different apartment buildings, and police have raided the area. State police have been involved, and the National Guard has been deployed as well too for a quote Operation International Drug Trafficking. All right, they have been deployed to the southern border of Texas, California, and Michigan in support of border operations and to shut down these international drug trafficking organizations and gangs. All right, and this is the details here on these multiple apartment complexes. All right, it's being reported that at least 4 different apartment complexes with the Palatia Apartments, this has been going on at least for 6 months. This gang has taken over, and they are now renting out apartment buildings to other migrants. All right, this is a migrant gang, a international criminal organization that is exploiting these loopholes here and exploiting people that are coming over, and they are making people pay them to stay there. Right, they've taken over the building and people are paying them rent to stay in these buildings. Right, and they're saying that they are using these apartments, the Palatia Apartments in San Antonio, Texas, as a base for trafficking, right, of multiple different kinds. That's what the police have been reported, and they have sent out a massive response to San Antonio, Texas. All right, it's being reported that they have raided over 300 different apartment complexes, or apartment units, at the Palatia Apartments and 4 different complexes. All right, and police have arrested at least 19 people, 4 of which have been confirmed as gang members, and one of them has been confirmed as a top quote enforcer gang member as well too. And it's being reported that this gang that has taken over has also been threatening the apartment property staff as well. All right, whenever the staff would come in to try to take back control of the situation, they would threaten them and attack them and force them to leave. Right, and they're saying that law enforcement is saying that this is just the tip of the iceberg of the criminal organizations that are taking over buildings inside of Texas and San Antonio. And it's being reported that the National Guard from South Dakota, they are sending extra help to these states to deal with this quote Operation International Drug Trafficking to combat what's going on here. It says soldiers from the 109th Engineer Battalion of Rapid City departed to Southern California, Texas, and Michigan in support of border operations. They are going to provide command and control, logistics, finance, and personnel support for subordinate units, right? And they're saying that this is a year-long deployment that they are going on at the border and surrounding areas. All right, so South Dakota is sending in extra help for what's going on, for these gangs that are taking over these apartment complexes and areas. So another U.S. city has been infiltrated and been allowed for these organizations to take root in. All right, let me know what you guys think of this down below. Please just hit it up for me down there. It helps get these warnings out. I appreciate that. Let me know if you have seen this in your town or your city. You've seen sketchy situations like this, because this is happening all over the country, and it's something that a lot of the authorities and the officials, they want to sweep under the rug because the situation has gotten so out of hand. And they're saying especially the last 6 months the situation has spiraled, and they do not want to admit that it's gotten this bad, because they're going to have to take extreme measures. They're going to have massive police raids. They said they searched over 300 different apartments, right? And once these things start, people start to flee, people start to leave. But they did make over a dozen arrests, 19 people arrested apparently here. And it's going to be a major operation to take these apartment complexes back and to get these places back to normal, right? They said that they were surveilling these apartments for months to determine who exactly is staying there, so they could get warrants and search warrants to execute at these apartment complexes, right? They have to have evidence that this stuff's actually going on, and they have to investigate these apartments one by one to figure out what's going on. But this is what needs to happen, and it seems like it's happening in more cities. They are starting to realize that the situation is getting out of control, right? They can no longer just allow these criminal organizations to take over apartment complexes, right? So this is big, especially since it's happening in Texas, right? They are right here at the U.S. southern border, so they are able to bring in their illegal products that they're bringing in and then selling inside the U.S. as well, which is a whole nother crisis that we are dealing with, and the American people are dealing with too, getting hooked on these illegal things, and it's killing people, right? It's a crisis in itself, and it's also funding them at the same time, right? So these things need to be shut down. The National Guard needs to be deployed here, and this is happening in all different states, right? It's also being reported that there is a caravan that is moving towards the U.S. southern border right now of thousands and thousands of people. It's in southern Mexico, and it's moving towards the U.S., and they're saying that they are going to cross the border here soon. And Customs and Border Patrol said that they are aware of the situation, and they said that they are traveling slowly and gathering more and more people. And I think we're going to see more things like this as the election gets closer, and especially if Trump wins the presidency, then we could see a massive influx of people come in before he gets sworn in January. All right, we could see lots of caravans pop up trying to enter the U.S. before there's a change in the border policy. All right, so there's already a massive caravan coming right now, and that's part of the reason that the National Guard has been deployed to deal with the situation here of all the people coming in. But there could be even more caravans and even bigger caravans. And this is the time of year too when it happens anyways, because the weather is cooling off, right? It's not so hot. Things normally slow down in the summer months. Crossings normally slow down, And in the winter months, they normally rise because it's just not as hot, right? And it's a lot easier to cross in the winter and put a coat on than in the summer when it's 100+ degrees and there's no water and you're hiking for days or whatever the circumstances, right? So we normally see major influxes in the winter months, and last December was actually a world record breaking month for the most amount of encounters at the border ever in history for any country on earth, right? There was over 300,000 encounters in December of 2023 last year at the US border of people claiming asylum or claiming some type of rule, some type of law, to some type of status to get into the United States, right? And that's just documented encounters, and there were probably at least 50,000 gotaways that were unencountered, right? And people that just crossed that we have no idea who they are or where they're from or anything. They were not even documented. Okay, so we could see similar numbers. We could see that record broken again this December, right? So thank you guys. I hope you guys are staying safe and staying prepared out there. It's moving into winter time, so start getting your winter preps ready to go. So thank you guys. I hope you have big blessings for your life and your family, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.